In the summer of 2020, a monster was stirring in the heart of China. This wasn't a creature of myth, but a man-made giant of concrete and steel. The Three Gorges Dam stood as a symbol of China's engineering power. A titan built to tame the mighty Yangtze River, but that year, the river fought back. Record-breaking rains fell for weeks, turning the Yangtze into a raging, unstoppable force. The water levels behind the dam rose higher and higher, pushing against the massive wall with unimaginable pressure. The world watched, holding its breath. The dam, designed to withstand a once-in-10,000-year flood, was facing its greatest test. For the millions of people living downstream, a terrifying question hung in the air. What if the giant fell? What if the dam broke? This is the story of the unseen chaos, the near disaster that threatened to unleash a catastrophe of biblical proportions. For centuries, the Yangtze River has been both a source of life and a bringer of destruction. Its annual floods have claimed countless lives and washed away entire communities. The dream of taming this powerful river is as old as Chinese civilization itself. After decades of planning and debate, construction on the Three Gorges Dam began in 1994. It was a project of staggering scale, the largest hydroelectric dam in the world. The numbers are almost too big to comprehend. The dam is over 2.3 kilometers long and 185 meters tall. It required more than 27 million cubic meters of concrete, enough to build a solid wall 1 meter thick and 4 meters high all the way around the Earth's equator. The project displaced over 1.3 million people, forcing them to leave their ancestral homes. The cost was immense, officially around 200 billion yuan, or about 31 billion US dollars, though many believe the true cost was much higher. The dam's primary purpose was threefold: flood control, clean energy generation, and improving river navigation. It was hailed as a modern marvel, a testament to what humanity could achieve. But from the very beginning, scientists and engineers raised serious concerns. They warned of the immense geological pressure the massive reservoir would put on the surrounding landscape. They pointed out that the area is crisscrossed by seismic fault lines. The sheer weight of the 39.3 billion cubic meters of water held back by the dam, a weight of over 42 billion tons, could potentially trigger earthquakes. This phenomenon is known as reservoir-induced seismicity. While officials assured the public that the dam was built to withstand large earthquakes, the constant shaking was a worrying sign. Then came the summer of 2020. The annual rainy season, known as the plum rains, arrived with unprecedented fury. Storm after storm battered central and southern China. The Yangtze River basin received its heaviest rainfall since 1961. Rivers swelled, bursting their banks. Cities were submerged, and millions were forced to flee their homes. All eyes turned to the Three Gorges Dam, the last line of defense against the surging floodwaters. The dam's operators were faced with an impossible choice. They had to release water to relieve the immense pressure on the dam structure. But releasing too much water too quickly would worsen the flooding for the 400 million people living downstream, including in the megacity of Wuhan. Day after day, the inflow of water into the reservoir was far greater than the outflow. The water level behind the dam crept steadily upward, reaching a record high of 167.65 meters, just 17 meters below its maximum capacity. Official Chinese state media presented a picture of calm control. They broadcasted images of the dam majestically discharging water, calling it a robust and effective tool in the fight against the floods. But behind the scenes, a different story was unfolding. Satellite images from independent sources began to circulate online. These images appeared to show the massive dam structure bending or deforming under the strain. Deformation became a hot topic on social media, sparking widespread panic. People feared the worst. Was the concrete giant, the pride of the nation, about to fail? Chinese officials quickly moved to debunk these claims, stating that the perceived deformation was simply a result of thermal expansion or an illusion created by the satellite imaging algorithm. They insisted the dam was perfectly safe, with all monitoring indicators within their normal design range. Yet, the anxiety did not go away. The government's tight control over information only fueled more suspicion and fear. What the state media didn't show was the chaos happening just upstream. The city of Chongqing, a sprawling metropolis of over 30 million people, was hit by its worst flooding in decades. The water rose so high that it lapped at the feet of the Lishan giant Buddha, a 71-meter-tall stone statue carved into a cliffside, for the first time since 1949. This was a shocking and symbolic moment. It showed just how extreme the situation had become. The dam was being forced to hold back a volume of water so vast that it was inundating one of China's largest cities upstream. The pressure was not just on the dam itself, but on the entire system. The Three Gorges is not a single entity. It's the largest part of a complex cascade of dams along the Yangtze. The crisis of 2020 exposed the vulnerability of this interconnected system. A failure at any of the smaller, older dams upstream could have a catastrophic domino effect, sending a black swan wave of debris and water crashing into the Three Gorges Dam, potentially overwhelming it. The consequences of a complete failure of the Three Gorges Dam are almost unthinkable. A 2009 simulation by the Discovery Channel, though dramatized, gives a chilling idea of the potential devastation. A collapse would unleash a wall of water nearly 100 meters high, traveling at over 100 kilometers per hour. The city of Yachang, just downstream, would be submerged in less than 30 minutes. Within hours, the flood wave would reach the plains of Hubei province, home to tens of millions. The city of Wuhan, still recovering from the initial outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, would be next. The water would overwhelm its flood defenses, inundating the entire city. The wave would continue its destructive path down the Yangtze, devastating major economic hubs like Nanjing and Shanghai before finally emptying into the East China Sea. The death toll could be in the millions. It would be the worst man-made disaster in human history. The economic heartland of China would be wiped out. The global supply chain would be thrown into chaos. Beyond the immediate destruction, the long-term environmental impact would be catastrophic. The massive reservoir holds back not just water, but also billions of tons of sediment, industrial pollution, and urban waste. A dam break would release this toxic sludge across a vast area, poisoning farmland and water sources for generations. Thankfully, in 2020, the worst-case scenario did not happen. The rains eventually subsided, the dam held. The operators managed to slowly lower the water level in the reservoir, releasing the pressure. China and the world breathed a collective sigh of relief. But the event served as a stark warning. The Three Gorges Dam, for all its power, is not invincible. It is vulnerable to the increasing intensity of extreme weather events driven by climate change. Scientists have long warned that global warming will lead to more intense and frequent rainfall in many parts of the world, including the Yangtze River Basin. The once in 10,000-year flood that the dam was designed to withstand might become a much more common event. The 2020 crisis was a stress test that pushed the dam to its limits. It revealed cracks not just in the concrete, but in the official narrative of absolute control over nature. It was a humbling reminder that even our most monumental engineering feats are at the mercy of the planet's powerful forces. The debate over the Three Gorges Dam continues. Is it a savior that protects millions from floods, or a ticking time bomb waiting for the perfect storm? The summer of 2020 showed that it might be both. The unseen chaos of that year remains a powerful lesson about the risks we take when we try to bend the natural world to our will. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the world around us. This is Documentary Reel.